Imagine digging through your old change jar and finding a single penny, worth $3 million. That's right, folks, a 1964 D Lincoln penny has been making headlines for its jaw-dropping value. But why? What makes this tiny copper coin worth more than a mansion? Stick around, because today, we're uncovering the mystery behind this legendary penny. And hey, don't go checking your couch cushions just yet, okay, maybe check after the video. Alright, let's rewind to 1964. Gas was 30 cents a gallon, the Beatles were taking over America, and the Denver Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies like there was no tomorrow. But here's where it gets interesting. Some of these pennies were struck with a rare and mysterious error. And in the world of coin collecting, errors can mean big money. The D mint mark means it was produced in Denver, but not all 1964 D pennies are created equal. The rarest of them all. A version with a double die error, which means the design was accidentally stamped twice, creating a ghostly, doubled appearance. It's like the coin was seeing double after a long night out. If you've got one of these, congratulations. You might just be holding a retirement plan in the palm of your hand. In fact, one of these bad boys recently sold for a cool $3 million at auction. Yep, $3 million. For a penny. Let that sink in. Now, I gotta tell you a quick story. A few years ago, my friend's grandpa left him a box of old coins. At the time, he thought, cool, some old pennies, maybe I can get a burger with these. Fast forward to last year, he decides to get them checked out, and guess what? One of them was a rare error penny worth $7,000. Moral of the story? Check your change, people. You never know when a tiny, dusty penny could be your golden ticket. Alright, so how do you know if your 1964 D penny is one of the lucky ones? Here's what to look for. Check Lincoln's face, the lettering, and the date. If the details look a little blurry or shadowed, you might have a winner. If your coin looks like it was run over by a truck, it's probably not worth much. But if it's in pristine condition, cha-ching, mint mark placement, some valuable errors happen when the D is misplaced or oddly stamped. Compare it to a regular 1964 penny and see if something looks off, and if you're still unsure, take it to a professional coin grader. They can tell you if your penny is just a penny or if it's about to change your life. Alright, now it's your turn. Go check those old piggy banks, sock drawers, and car cup holders. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a fortune. And if you want more tips on finding hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on notifications. We've got plenty more coin hunting secrets coming your way. Alright, coin lovers, gather round because you're about to find out why that penny in your pocket might just make you a millionaire, no kidding. If you've ever wondered if your old coins could be worth big money, get ready to learn about one penny that's worth a whopping $2.70 million. Yes, you heard that right. 2.7 million. And it's a 1976 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna find that kind of cash down the couch cushions, trust me, I've checked. But, this coin has a crazy backstory, and today, we're diving in to uncover how it became the superstar of pennies. So, stick with me, we're about to drop some serious coin knowledge. Okay, first things first, let's talk about the 1976 D penny. You've probably got a couple of these kicking around in your change jar or maybe even in your purse, right? Now, these are pretty common pennies, made to celebrate the 200th anniversary of the United States. But this one, a 1976 D penny, has something special about it. And no, it's not just a lucky charm, there's a minting error that makes it worth millions. The coin we're talking about here is a regular, run-of-the-mill 1976 penny, except for one teeny tiny detail. There's a crazy mistake on the minting process that caused a few pennies to be struck with a double die error. If you look at the letters and numbers, you'll notice that they're doubled, like a bad stamp job, except it's super rare, which is why it's worth so much. Now, before you start running to the nearest coin store or, let's be honest, digging through your childhood piggy bank. Here's the catch: only a few of these bad boys slip through the cracks. So, if you do have one of these 1976 D double-die pennies, you're holding a ticket to coin history. If not, don't worry. I'm sure you have something else hidden in your collection that could be worth big money, maybe not $2.7 million, but hey, every penny counts. Here's how you can spot the difference between a regular 1976 D penny and a double-die era one. Look closely at the date. On a regular penny, the numbers will be clear. But on the double-die era coin, you'll notice a slight doubling in the digits, especially in the number 7. It almost looks like you're seeing double, kind of like that one time you stayed up too late watching coin videos, and now you're a little obsessed. Now, don't panic. If you do have a double-die penny, it's worth a lot of money. Some have sold at auction for over $2.7 million. But let's be real, finding one is harder than finding a needle in a haystack, and a golden needle at that. Funny story, I was going through my old pennies once, and I got all excited when I thought I found a rare coin. Turns out, it was just a 1999 penny. But you know what? I still celebrated like I'd struck gold, because, well, I'm a coin nerd, and I can admit it. It's the small victories, right? Okay, jokes aside, if you do find a 1976 D double-die penny, get it appraised by a professional, and don't try to clean it yourself. That can ruin the value. Keep it in good condition, and you might just be holding a little piece of history worth millions. So, there you have it. A simple 1976 D penny could potentially be worth $2.7 million if it has that double-die error. The odds are small, but imagine if you found one. You'd be on your way to living the coin collector dream. If you want to keep learning about coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips, tricks, and stories about finding hidden treasures in your coin jar. Oh, and leave a comment if you've ever found something weird or valuable in your spare change. We'd love to hear your stories. Where we turn old coins into serious cash. Now, if you're a fan of Abraham Lincoln, who isn't, right, or maybe just a sucker for rare pennies, then you're going to love today's video. We've got an absolute gem to talk about, a 1978 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that is currently worth $2.50 million. Yes, you heard me right. No, this isn't some clickbait nonsense. There's actually a penny out there that's worth more than most people's dream house, and I'm about to tell you all about it. You might even have one of these hidden in your pocket right now. So, sit tight, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny worth a fortune. And hey, you might just become a millionaire, or at least walk away with some fun facts to impress your friends at parties. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of this rare penny, hit that subscribe button, so you don't miss out on more juicy coin tips. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who misses out on the next big thing. Let's roll. Alright, let's start with the basics. A 1978 penny, a pretty typical year for a coin, right? I mean, we've all seen tons of them. But here's the catch, most of the 1978 pennies are, well, worth 1 cent. No surprises there. But what makes this one so special? It's the fact that it's a 1978 penny with no mint mark. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal with a missing mint mark? Great question. See, most pennies are stamped with a mint mark, showing where they were made, Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But for some reason, a very small batch of these 1978 Lincoln pennies was struck without that mark. It's like a tiny error that no one expected to be such a big deal, until it was. Now, this rare no mint mark error penny isn't just rare, it's highly valuable. So, why is it worth a jaw-dropping $2.5 million? It all comes down to the rarity and the demand for it. Think about it, most of us don't even give a second glance to pennies. In fact, I once had a penny stuck to my shoe for 3 days before I noticed. No joke, felt like I was walking around with an ankle bracelet. But collectors and investors, they see something different. They see potential gold. That rare 1978 penny with no mint mark is a holy grail for certain collectors, and their obsession with rare coins has driven up the price to astronomical levels. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm running to my coin jar right now to check if I've got one of these bad boys. Well, hold your horses. Finding one of these isn't easy. There are only a few documented cases of people finding one, but that's what makes it so thrilling, right? It's like that time I found an old pair of socks under my bed that I thought had gone missing forever, except this time, finding that penny could mean millions in your bank account. So, next time you're digging through your spare change, keep your eyes peeled for a 1978 penny that's missing its mint mark. You never know when you might just strike gold. When you're checking for a 1978 penny, make sure it's got that distinct look, nothing like a modern-day penny. The one with no mint mark should look a little different, almost like it came from an alternate universe where pennies are worth millions. Seriously, it's that rare, so, what's the takeaway here? Check your 1978 pennies, folks. And who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person who finds one of these elusive gems and ends up with a hefty payday. Now, if you love coins, or if you're like me and you think there's an actual treasure hidden in every pocket, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of content lined up to help you learn about coins worth money, tips for selling them, and strategies for turning your coin collection into a small fortune. Plus, let's be real, who doesn't want to be the person who knows about this stuff before it's trending on TikTok? You don't want to miss out on your next opportunity to make some serious cash with those rare coins you've got tucked away. So, you've got a 1988 Lincoln penny lying around somewhere, right? You know, the one you probably found in your pocket, maybe even used it as a lucky charm once or twice. Well, hold on to your hat because today we're talking about a coin that could make you a millionaire. Yes, really. The 1988 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, worth a mind-blowing $2.30 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this some kind of joke? Is there a twist ending coming where you tell me it's worth a nickel? Nope. You heard me right. This little copper beauty could have you rolling in dough, or in pennies. Chuckle, so, stick around, this could be the most valuable thing in your pocket right now. Okay, let's get serious for a second, folks. The 1988 Lincoln penny normally isn't worth much, about 1 cent, to be exact. But, and this is the big but, there's a very special version of this penny that doesn't have a mint mark. This is the key factor, the golden ticket, the thing that'll make your heart skip a beat if you find it in your change. Here's where it gets interesting. Back in 1988, the US Mint accidentally released a small batch of pennies without the usual mint mark that identifies where it was produced. Most pennies from that year were made in Philadelphia, so they have a mint mark. But a handful of these no mint mark pennies slipped through the cracks, and when something is rare, people want it. That's why, today, some of these 88 no mint mark pennies can fetch upwards of $2.30 million on the market. Crazy, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. I've probably got one of those in my spare change drawer right now. Well, slow down there, friend. These pennies are rare, but they're not easy to find. It's kind of like looking for a needle in a haystack, but if you do find one, that could mean big money. Big wink to camera, and hey, I get it. You're probably shaking your head like, how could I have missed this? Trust me, I've had my own embarrassing moments with coins. There was this one time I bought a bag of chips with what I thought was a regular penny, only to find out later it was a rare 1943 copper penny. The look on my face when I realized I had basically just given away $100,000 in change. Let's just say, I've learned to check my coins a lot more closely. So, let's break it down. If you find a 1988 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, here's what to do: examine it closely, make sure it's not a trick of the light or wear and tear, check for authenticity. You can get it graded by a professional coin grader. These guys are like the coin detectives of the world. Check the market, penny values fluctuate, so it's good to keep an eye on the latest auction prices to know what your coin is worth, and if you're lucky enough to have one, sell it, don't let it sit in your drawer gathering dust. These pennies have sold for over $2.3 million at auction. Now, I'm not saying your penny will definitely hit that number, but it's worth checking out before it slips away into oblivion. Okay, let's wrap it up. If you're staring at a 1988 Lincoln penny right now and wondering, is this my ticket to a millionaire lifestyle? Here's the deal, it's all about finding that rare, no mint mark gem. And who knows? Maybe the next time you're at the bank, or going through your coin jar, you'll discover the one that could change everything for you. But hey, let's not stop here. If you want more tips on how to spot valuable coins, how to sell them for top dollar, and the latest trends in coin collecting, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, so you never miss out on a money-making opportunity that I've got more coin secrets to share, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. So, if you're ready to take your coin game to the next level and maybe, just maybe, become the next lucky millionaire, subscribe now. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, folks, keep your eyes peeled for those rare gems. Sometimes, the best things come in tiny, copper packages. Wait, hold on. Did you know there's a penny out there worth $2 million? And no, I'm not talking about some ancient gold coin from the Roman Empire. I'm talking about a regular old 1992 D. Abraham Lincoln penny. You heard me right, this tiny piece of copper could be sitting in your coin jar right now, just waiting to make you a millionaire. Stick around, because you won't believe how this little coin could change your life, and your bank account. Alright, now before you start rummaging through your couch cushions, let's break it down. The 1992 D penny, let's call it the Holy Grail of modern-day pennies, was struck by the U.S. Mint in Denver and, to most people's surprise, can be worth up to $2 million. And I know what you're thinking. Really? A penny? But trust me, when it comes to rare coins, it's not just about the coin itself, it's about what's wrong with it. You see, this particular penny wasn't struck with the usual precision. The 1992 D penny was supposed to have a nice, clean mint mark. But, for a limited run, a bunch of them got the stamp of approval in a weird, misplaced way. It's all about that elusive double die error. This means the mint mark on the penny was struck twice in slightly different positions. It's subtle, so subtle, in fact, that most people can't even spot it. But collectors? Oh, they're trained to spot these things from a mile away. Here's the thing, if you happen to come across one of these misprinted 1992 D pennies, you've got a huge potential payday. We're talking about something that's more valuable than some people's entire home down payments. But, how do you actually find it, and what makes it so rare? Well, first things first, it's all about that double die error on the mint mark. Now, I know you're probably thinking, how am I supposed to know if my penny's worth millions? Well, here's how I personally check my coins, because yeah, I check my coins, don't judge me. Grab a magnifying glass or use your phone's zoom function, look at the D on the mint mark. If you see any doubling or extra outlines, boom, you might have the jackpot. I swear, the first time I found one of these, I thought I was seeing things. I actually had to Google it twice because I thought I had found a rare unicorn or something. Spoiler alert, I didn't, but hey, you might. Now, here's where it gets even cooler. These pennies don't just hang out at flea markets or your local convenience store. No, if you're lucky enough to have one, you could sell it to collectors or even auction houses, and those guys are always looking for this stuff. We're talking serious money here. $2 million serious. But don't just take my word for it, let me share a quick story. A couple years ago, I was at a coin show, just minding my own business and sipping on some overpriced coffee, when I overheard a conversation between two dealers. One of them was gushing over finding a 1992 D penny with a double die mint mark. I thought, no way, how did I miss that? I ran back to my table, dug through my pennies, and I found a 1992 D that looked suspiciously off. I sent it to an expert, and sure enough, double die error. It was worth hundreds at the time, and I was floored. Sadly, no million-dollar moment for me, but you better believe I'm still hunting for that elusive $2 million coin. And you should be too. So, if you've got a jar of old pennies, or if you've been holding on to that 1992 D Lincoln penny, don't just toss it in the meh pile. It could be sitting there, waiting for you to discover its secret, and it could be worth a whole lot more than the 1 cent it says on its face. Alright, so now you know all about the 1992 D Lincoln penny, the unsung hero of the coin world. But hey, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to valuable coins that could be sitting right under your nose. If you want to keep learning about rare coins and how to turn those pocket change finds into serious cash, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next coin discovery that could be worth more than your car. And hey, if you find one of those $2 million pennies, don't forget who gave you the heads up, alright? Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, just 1 cent, something most people overlook. But what if I told you that this tiny coin could be worth up to $3 million? That's right, a 1982 Lincoln penny with NO mint mark could change your life forever. But here's the catch, most people don't even realize they have one. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this rare penny. And whether you're sitting on a small fortune, you might be thinking, come on, it's just a penny. How can something so common be worth millions? Well, here's the secret, mistakes in coin production can create extreme rarity, and rarity means big money. Back in 1982, something unexpected happened at the Philadelphia Mint. For reasons still debated among numismatists, a small batch of pennies was struck without a mint mark. Normally, Philadelphia minted coins from that year were supposed to have a tiny P marking. But a rare error occurred, and now, these no-mint mark pennies have become one of the most sought-after treasures in the coin-collecting world. Here's the kicker, most people have no idea they might have one of these valuable coins lying around in an old jar, a piggy bank, or tucked away in a dusty drawer. And with the market for rare coins reaching record highs, collectors are willing to pay insane amounts to own one. Before we go any further, let me ask you, when's the last time you actually looked at a penny? Be honest. Most of us treat pennies like they're useless, but after watching this, you might start checking every single one you come across. So, how do you know if you have this rare coin? Here's what to look for. First, check the date. It must say 1982. Second, look under the date. If there's no mint mark, you might have struck gold, or rather, copper. Third, the weight matters. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from solid copper pennies to copper-coated zinc. The valuable ones are the ones made of 95% copper and weigh 3.1 grams. If you have a small scale at home, now's the time to use it. But wait, there's an even bigger factor that determines if your penny is worth pocket change or life-changing money. And that's the condition of the coin. Let me explain, condition is everything. A heavily worn 1982 no-mint mark penny might sell for a few $100. But if your coin is in pristine, uncirculated condition, that's when you start seeing bids in the hundreds of thousands, even millions. The highest recorded sale for one of these pennies? A jaw-dropping $3 million at auction. Now, here's what you need to do if you think you have one of these rare pennies. Get it verified, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't clean it. Cleaning a rare coin can actually decrease its value. Leave it exactly as it is, sell it the right way. Consider big auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where serious collectors place bids that can skyrocket the price. Pattern interrupt. Let's be real, if you find one of these pennies, your biggest problem won't be selling it. Your biggest problem will be deciding which mansion to buy first. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your pennies now. That little copper coin sitting in your pocket could be the key to a life of luxury. And if you enjoyed this video and want to learn about more hidden treasures that could make you rich, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a valuable tip. Who knows? The next video might just reveal another secret fortune hiding in plain sight. Remember, wealth isn't always found in banks, sometimes, it's hiding in your spare change. See you in the next one. Feels ordinary, right? But what if I told you that a single 1952 Lincoln penny has sold for as much as $2.80 million? Yes, you heard that right. One tiny, copper coin, worth more than a luxury mansion. The real question is, do you have one of these jackpot pennies sitting in an old jar, hidden in your pocket change, or tucked away in a forgotten drawer? Because if you do, your life could change in an instant. Let's dive into the incredible story of this rare and valuable coin, and by the end, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to cash in big. But be warned, if you tune out even for a second, you might miss the key details that separate a $1 million coin from just another penny. First, let's talk about what makes the 1952 Lincoln penny so special. The S mint mark means it was struck in San Francisco, one of the 3 U.S. mint locations producing pennies that year. While millions were made, only a few contain rare errors and unique characteristics that drive their value sky high. Here's where things get interesting. Some 1952 pennies were struck with a double die obverse, a minting mistake that causes noticeable doubling in letters like Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot this error, you might just be looking at a goldmine. And that's not all. Certain coins have a full red designation, meaning their original copper shine is perfectly preserved, making them even more desirable to collectors. Now, let's talk numbers. The average 1952 penny. Worth just a few cents. A well-preserved one? Maybe a few hundred. But a rare mint state red double die obverse? That's where we start talking hundreds of thousands to millions. In fact, one of the highest graded specimens sold for a mind-blowing $2.80 million. Imagine walking into an auction with a small, unassuming penny, only to walk out a multimillionaire. Think that's crazy? It gets even wilder. There are still undiscovered specimens out there. That means someone, maybe even you, could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. So here's the $1 million question, where should you start looking? First, check your old coin jars, piggy banks, and inherited coin collections. Many people unknowingly stash away these valuable pennies, thinking they're just pocket change. Next, if you're serious about finding hidden treasure, visit estate sales, flea markets, and antique stores. You never know where a lost piece of numismatic history might turn up. But wait, before you rush off and start digging through every coin in sight, how do you confirm that your penny is the real deal? This is where things get critical. You need to examine the details, specifically the mint mark, doubling effects, and overall condition. Using a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, look for any doubling in the letters and numbers. If you suspect you've got a rare one, getting it professionally graded is a must. PCGS and NGC are the top coin grading services, and their certification can mean the difference between a coin worth a few bucks and one that could buy you a luxury car, or an entire estate. Now, here's where it gets urgent. The rarest coins don't just hold their value, they skyrocket. Wealthy collectors and investors are constantly on the hunt for these hidden gems, driving prices higher each year. If you wait too long, you could miss your chance to cash in at the peak of the market. Still think pennies are just small change? Think again. Because that tiny coin in your pocket could be your ticket to financial freedom. Imagine paying off debts, traveling the world, or even retiring early, all because of one overlooked penny. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your coins now. You might just be the next big success story. And when you find that $1 million penny, don't forget to come back and share your story. Because trust me, this is one discovery you'll want the world to know about. Realizing it's worth up to $2.5 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into the 1970 Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of copper that could change your life forever. But here's the catch, most people don't even know what to look for, and some might throw away a fortune without realizing it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, where to sell it, and why its value is skyrocketing right now. Before we get into the specifics, let me ask you, have you ever tossed a penny on the ground, thinking it's worthless? Well, after today, you might just find yourself crawling under your couch cushions, searching for a fortune. Let's start with the history. The 1970 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it looks like just another ordinary coin. But here's where things take a shocking turn. Some of these pennies were struck with a dramatic error, what's known as a double die obverse. This means the numbers and letters on the front of the coin appear slightly duplicated, almost like a ghostly shadow. Now, if you're wondering, why would an error make this coin so valuable? Great question. It all comes down to rarity. Collectors and investors are always hunting for these mistakes, and when they find one, they're willing to pay top dollar, sometimes, even millions. And here's the scary part. Many people have sold these pennies for just a few dollars because they didn't know what they had. Imagine being the person who unknowingly let go of a $2.5 million penny for a few cents. That's a financial nightmare, but don't panic just yet, because I'm about to tell you exactly how to spot one. First, grab a magnifying glass and look closely at the date, 1970. If you see a slight doubling effect, you might be holding a rare double die variety. Also, check for a small D mint mark right below the year. That little letter makes a big difference because it confirms the coin was minted in Denver. Still not sure? Here's a quick test. Try tilting the coin under good lighting. If you notice a shadow-like doubling on the numbers, especially the 7 and 0 in 1970, your heart should start racing. Because you might just have hit the jackpot. Now, let's talk money. How much is this penny really worth today? Well, here's where things get jaw-dropping. A perfectly preserved 1970 D double die penny has sold for over $2.5 million at auction. Even those in slightly lower conditions have fetched tens of thousands of dollars. So yes, your old jar of pennies might just be your golden ticket to wealth, but here's the big question: where can you sell one if you're lucky enough to find it? Auction houses, online marketplaces, and private collectors are all willing to pay premium prices. The key is getting it properly graded by a professional coin grading service. This tiny step can mean the difference between a few $100s and a life-changing fortune. Now, before you rush off to check your spare change, let me leave you with this. Every single day, someone out there is discovering a rare penny worth thousands, sometimes even millions. The only question is, will you be next? Or will you let the opportunity slip through your fingers? If you want to learn about more rare coins that could make you a millionaire, make sure you stick around for our next video. Because trust me, you won't believe what's coming next. Rummaging through an old jar of pennies, and discovering a single coin that could change your life forever. A simple 1980 Lincoln penny, no mint mark, just an ordinary coin at first glance. But what if I told you that this unassuming penny could be worth up to $2.3 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, life-changing wealth. So before you toss your spare change aside, listen closely, because this could be the moment that turns your fortune around. Now, let's take a trip back to 1980. A time when gas was just $1, and arcade games ruled the world. The U.S. Mint was striking millions of Lincoln pennies, but here's where things get interesting: some of them mysteriously left the mint without a mint mark. And that tiny missing detail? It could mean a massive payday for you. You might be wondering, why is this missing mint mark so valuable? Well, coin collectors and numismatic experts prize these rare errors because they are anomalies in the minting process. Think of them like limited edition sneakers, but way more valuable. And with demand soaring, prices have skyrocketed. In fact, one of these 1980 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies recently fetched over $2 million at auction. Imagine holding a small copper coin in your hand and realizing it could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or even set you up for life. But hold on, before you start frantically checking your penny jar, you need to know what to look for. Not every 1980 penny is worth millions, so let's break it down. First, grab your magnifying glass, because small details make all the difference. The rare and valuable 1980 penny must be missing a mint mark entirely, meaning there should be no tiny D for Denver or S for San Francisco under the year. If your penny is completely mark-free, you might be onto something big. Still with me? Good, because now comes the most critical part. Condition is everything in the world of rare coins. A beat-up penny from the depths of your couch cushions isn't going to cut it. The highest valued coins are in pristine, uncirculated condition, almost as if they were never touched by human hands. A flawless 1980 no-mint mark penny in mint condition is what gets collectors' hearts racing, and what could potentially put millions in your pocket. Now, at this point, you might be asking, where do I sell this goldmine of a penny? The key is finding the right buyer. Top auction houses, numismatic conventions, and even online platforms are buzzing with collectors willing to pay top dollar for rare finds. But beware, because where there's money, there are scams. Always get your coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC before making any deals. Otherwise, you could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. And here's something most people overlook: there's more than one valuable 1980 penny out there. Some rare varieties and mint errors from this era are fetching tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. So even if you don't find the exact $1 million penny, you might still be sitting on a small fortune. Now, I have to ask, have you checked your coin jar yet? Because somewhere out there, in a dusty drawer, an old piggy bank, or the bottom of your purse, there could be a single penny waiting to change your life. The question is, will you be the one to find it? Don't wait. Go check now. Because that tiny coin you've been ignoring, it might just be the key to your financial freedom. You're sorting through a handful of pennies, the kind you casually toss in a jar, and suddenly, you spot one. A 2013 Lincoln penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary penny could be worth up to $1.2 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. More valuable than most luxury cars. More valuable than some houses, and here's the kicker: many people have these pennies sitting in their homes right now, completely unaware of their hidden fortune. Are you one of them? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and whether you're sitting on a potential goldmine. Now, let's dive into the mystery of the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Why is it so valuable? What makes this coin so special? Well, to understand that, we need to go back to a little-known minting error that changed everything. The 2013 Lincoln penny was produced in massive quantities, but a small batch of them escaped the mint without a mint mark. This was never supposed to happen. But when mistakes like this occur, coin collectors go wild. Now, before you rush to check your piggy bank, let's talk about how to identify one of these rare pennies. There are a few key details that separate an ordinary 2013 penny from one that's worth a fortune. First, look for the missing mint mark. Regular pennies from 2013 should have a small letter beneath the date, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if yours has no mint mark at all, that's your first clue. Second, condition matters. Coin collectors pay top dollar for pennies that are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Even if your penny is slightly worn, it could still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But if you find one in mint state condition, that's where we start talking about 6 or even 7 figures. Now, let's talk numbers. How much is one of these pennies actually worth in today's market? Well, recent auctions have seen these rare 2013 pennies selling for anywhere between $5,000 and $1.2 million, depending on condition and demand. And here's the crazy part: people have thrown these pennies away. Let that sink in. Someone, somewhere, has tossed $1 million penny into a vending machine. So before you make that mistake, take a good look at your coins. Now, I know what you're thinking: where do I sell it if I find one? Don't worry, I've got you covered. Rare coin dealers, major auction houses, and even online platforms like eBay and Heritage Auctions are all prime places to sell a rare 2013 no-mint mark penny. But you have to know how to do it right. Because if you don't, you might get scammed or undersell it for a fraction of its true value. And here's something that might just shock you: even if you don't have the 2013 no-mint mark penny, there are other rare pennies from recent years that could be worth thousands. Want to know which ones? Well, you're in luck, because I'll be covering that in an upcoming video. So, before you go, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Your next coin find could be the one that changes your life, and remember, every penny counts. Especially the ones worth over $1 million. Now, go check your change. You might want to check your pocket change right now, because hiding in plain sight could be a 2017 Lincoln penny worth up to $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A penny, worth more than a luxury sports car. But before you rush to flip over every penny in your house, let's talk about why this tiny copper coin is sending collectors into a frenzy. Because not every 2017 penny is valuable, only a rare few hold the golden ticket to a life-changing payday, and if you don't know what to look for, you might accidentally spend it on a cup of coffee, and trust me, that's the most expensive latte you'll ever be. So, what makes the 2017 Lincoln penny so valuable? And how can you find one? Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm revealing the exact details you need to know. Back in 2017, millions of pennies were struck at the Denver Mint. But among those ordinary coins, a few rare gems slipped through, pennies with bizarre minting errors, dramatic doubling, or even experimental compositions. These aren't just minor flaws, these are the kinds of mistakes that can turn a common penny into a collector's dream. Take, for example, one lucky collector who discovered a 2017 Lincoln penny with a major minting error. At first, it looked like just another coin, but upon closer inspection, the lettering was doubled, the details were misaligned, and the surface had an unusual luster. That coin went on to sell for nearly $1 million at auction. Imagine finding one of these rare pennies in your change and cashing it in for life-changing money. Suddenly, your penny jar isn't just a collection of loose change, it's a potential goldmine. But what exactly should you be looking for? Let's break it down. First, check the mint mark. If you see a D beneath the date, congratulations, you have a Denver Mint penny. But the real magic happens when you inspect it under a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on Lincoln's profile, especially in the eyes and lettering. If you see letters that appear stacked or slightly shifted, that's a clear sign of a valuable double die error. Next, examine the surface. Any strange textures, missing details, or off-center strikes could mean you're holding a rare variety. Some of these errors are worth hundreds, thousands, or even more, and here's where it gets really exciting. Even if your 2017 penny doesn't have an error, high-grade uncirculated versions are still selling for impressive amounts. Coins graded MS67 or higher. They can fetch thousands, but don't just throw your penny on eBay and hope for the best. The right way to sell a rare coin is through certified auctions or numismatic dealers. This ensures you get the maximum value, because trust me, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these rare finds. So, before you spend that next penny, take a second look. It could be the easiest $1 million you've ever made. Now, I have a question for you. When was the last time you checked your pocket change? Let me know in the comments, and if you found this video valuable, don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden coin treasures that could change your life forever. Until next time, keep hunting, because your next penny might just be worth a fortune.